What it do, fellas? So today's video is going to be all about when you're around her, make sure you are doing this. Make sure that you're not on the lows, actually scared. You're actually the guy that's not ready. So this also means a lot of times you got to be practicing. You got to go out and talk to girls. Also, that ex that you may not like, maybe you should have more conversations with her so you can learn a little bit more about girls, or so you can practice your game. Now, fellas, if you don't know, you got to give this video a big thumbs up. Definitely helps your girl so much. You got to get that algorithm going. And fellas, if you really want to talk to me, I want to talk to y'all and we can talk about anything. Make sure you check out Consultations. There is a sale going on for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So fellas, it starts at 15 minutes. We can talk for only 15 minutes. We could go all the way until an hour. And once more, it could be about anything that's going on in your life. And fellas, it could be fun stuff. It doesn't have to be serious. And if it is serious, let's get to the talking too. All right, let's get back to what you shouldn't be doing. Psych, what you need to make sure you are doing every time you're around her. You got to make sure your confidence is there ahead of time. So it's going to be really down to like the guys that are high value, the guys that have it going on. They're around women already, like knowing if they get rejected, they're going to be good. They're tough. They're built for it, as in they've been putting in work. They had experiences. They went through multiple times where they either got turned down. Bottom line is that they have value. They learn from their mistakes and they're increasing. They're increasing their value, whether it's in money form, whatever, like if they're making more money financially, whatever, or it could be back to status, however the case may be. But, you know, we got to understand that those guys, when they're around females, they're prepped. So y'all gotta first off the bat know what you're gonna really be kind of talking about. Because you never know what she's gonna throw at you, and you never know where you should leave it at or what you can continue to talk about. So I'm saying a lot of fellas are not sure what they should talk about, what to even bring up, or if they should continue to talk about anything when they're letting this female guide. So first off the bat, I wanted to say a few words at once. First off the bat, if you are invested in yourself, if you learn about yourself, if you realize the stuff that you actually love about yourself, these are the things that are naturally going to come out. These are the things that are going to be talked about. So it's going to be maybe that next accomplishment that you had, that next goal. Now, it's not that it has to be about like serious topics or anything. It could be about anything that you feel like, okay, this is a part of me. And it's just like, okay, let's talk about this. And you're prepared because it's so much of your life. So for example, think about all the fellas that go to the gym every day. They have a routine of making sure they drink this, drink that, make sure that they take their protein or whatever certain meals that they got to be taking. All that stuff, they make sure that they do. When they talk to this girl, they are ready to talk about things that they know is meaningful, that adds value, that is valuable to them. So just that already, it shows a lot for a woman when she's looking at you and she's like, oh, okay, this is what we're talking about. Oh, okay, this is what's going on in your life, as in, oh, that's what's up. So this is where you start seeing the hypergamy happen in so much women right in front of your face, because you might talk about money or the next thing that made you that money or whatever the case is. But because money and status, a woman love to date up, and it doesn't mean necessarily you are the guy that she is dating up. Just let's talk about also modern day and what women like in a guy. But just in that case, when you start talking about those things, when you have that confidence, when you're so certain, you have this woman look at you and be like, oh, okay, I want to know more. I want you to know me. So in other words, the guy that's making the most money, the guy that's at the status or has the status going on, that's who she's looking at and like, okay, you're next up, right? Back to like her options. That guy though that she wants might not even really want her, but that could be a whole nother story of like, there's guys out there that it'd be like that with some girls when they're on her list, right? Maybe he doesn't have her on his list though, or maybe at certain moments, you know, he doesn't take her serious. Now, that just being a whole nother story, let's just go back onto how you guys show your confidence around her and how certain you have to be about what you say. So basically, know what you're talking about is going to prep you and stuff like that. That's what you need to be having going on. But come into there prepared where your body language is showing that you're that guy. So oftentimes, some guys will just sit laid back, literally, or some guys will be chilled. And fellas, if you want to talk about the things that you could do in the bed sheets, or we could talk about out in the, if you're outside with her and you want to get to the sheets afterwards, we could talk all about that during consultations. Once more, I gotta remind y'all, and don't forget Patreon too, be having videos that, we can't talk about everything on here, but there's also reaction videos. So consultations, we could talk, fellas, and then Patreon has more videos where we are talking about all types of stuff. That also, once more, can be on here. But back to how you're confident and your children laid back. So you're going to have a lot of women also maybe make you feel intimidated. That's really what's happening a lot of times when you guys are approaching or you're around a woman that you like. And so what you have to do is stick on the stuff that you know, basically. So let's just say, for example, if she's giving you negative vibe, right? Like, let's switch this whole situation now. Let's say she came to your house and she's giving you negative vibe. And first of all, you don't waste your time for sure. But you know that in this case, we're not really going to get nowhere. You know the type of woman that you like. And this is where you have value, like as in when you start learning stuff about yourself, and then let's say you put in the work to add that value, you start also knowing what you like and what's valuable to you. So back to her being valuable for you, or you knowing what type of woman, it's not her though. So back to now her coming to your house, right? And she's chilling there, giving you attitude, or you don't like her vibe, and okay, the type of woman that I like, or no, like this is our third time hanging out and this is how you are, I'm good. The type of woman I like is not you. And so you, once again, your body language, you being the guy that's not a simp, that doesn't just look at beauty or doesn't just act on emotions, you're gonna be distant. But back to your conversation, you're only gonna talk about things that make sense, and also you're gonna kick her out real quick. That's the other thing that I gotta mention. But I'm also saying your body language is giving you gotta go. You're also giving with your body language when maybe like you're chilled back, or hey, you're distracted. These are all things that you guys can be doing. Maybe you're not even looking at her, checking her out. When you're doing all these are giving signs, indication of like, dang, for this girl, like, oh wow, what's going on your end? What's up with you? So I'm saying with your wordings, your actions, all that you could do with yourself, fellas, when you present yourself, you have to treat yourself as in like, if this girl is not worth my time in this moment, I have another woman I could put to replace her. And if you do, cool. If you don't, whatever, you could have that whenever the time is, or make it happen by adding more value to yourself, fellas, right? So let's just go back to how you're becoming more confident, you're acting like you're confident, you're showing your confidence. You have a lot of women start thinking that they might not be seeing that value in you that is there. And then also she has to start seeing that value in you when there is actually value in you. So whether it's like you have your own place and she came through, or you have other reasons to, let's say, show that you're not interested, dismiss her, not talk about certain stuff and talk about only certain stuff that makes you look good. If that's now the case, you have that decision, you have that choice, let's say like that, to remove yourself and then have it work in your favor to have this woman come back around. So I'm trying to say that a lot of times when you know your confidence is there, when you approach, when you're okay with rejection, and then the little bits of things that you guys are supposed to be doing that I mentioned, you overall will have a woman still be like, wow, I need him back around. I want him because this is what you did around her to make her feel like, oh, wow, you're kind of a different type of dude. But more so a different type of dude of like, you're the dude that wants her, but also has this value. So she might also get confused as to why you actually even want her. That's why I also said it. That's why I also said the whole idea of you knowing what you're talking about could also make you look attractive, make you look more confident once more, because you're certain, because you're actually, not capping. And it's just about like, you might be about your business, but it's really showing that, hey, you're man, you're leading, you're guiding, all that type of stuff that once more could make this woman look at you as, oh gosh, that guy is really that alpha or sigma guy that whatever you claim or that you might be. Okay, so let's just go back to wrapping up with how you're around her and how much control and decisions that you can make if you allow yourself. So remember, if let's say you had other options or you already have this value, let's just say if you don't, if this all happens, you're gonna start acting differently, right? You're gonna start, not playing it so risky with these girls because you don't care to lose her. So when you're around this girl, you guys gotta treat it like that, or understand that's what women are liking. This is what you have to do around her. So ultimately, if you're thinking like, okay, well, if I start showing that I'm not interested or pull back because she's not my type anymore, that might just give that sign of this and that. If I start giving dry conversations because she's doing this, or once again pulling back, that might give her this sign of, well, you know what, I might be not the one for him, or I don't want him, let me pull away. But that doesn't matter on your part, because when you're doing the back work of working on yourself, bettering yourself, becoming more alpha and all these things, you actually have it work in your favor regardless almost. So it's back to like, you are the type of guy in the modern day women want. So it's like, yes, you might not be the richest, you might not have the most status, of course, but it could be like, and it's like, it doesn't matter if it's little or big with any of these things, but it could just be because you have this, and she could be in a small city, doesn't really matter, but because you have this, you happen to want her, but then your emotions in check and all these other things, your confidence, not being scared to lose her, is ultimately what keeps her back around. So I'm really trying to say that let's kind of dismiss what women in the modern day want or ask for. Because when we look at the modern day, yes, there's a lot of pretty faces or a lot of girls that are getting the guys that they want, but a lot of these guys are just trying to smash and dash. And also a lot of these guys are maybe staying with them or dealing with these girls, but they're not maybe genuinely wanting these girls. And also just in the modern day, we know a lot of women don't want to do the wifey duties roles and certain stuff that has to fall back into a woman's nature, the nurturing type, and all submission and all that stuff. Not for me to get into details right now, but because we just know in the modern day, if you start doing what you're doing in the modern day, because women are hypergamous, and also let's just say her surroundings, and then the guys that actually want her when we're realistic, and then who she really has on her list, and there's probably still one nice guy that she keeps around, whatever. When we just consider all that, you basically still happen to have value because you might be working 2-3 jobs. So I'm saying, I'm not calculating your pockets, and she's also not, maybe, but it could be, you know, you come, your emotions are always in check. You know, you're the one that knows how to emotionally be strong. That other guy might have all the money, but that decreases his value as well. And then let's just look at it as in like this. When you know you're supposed to be doing these things as a fella, your money or status is already going to be there. As in, your priorities are supposed to be set straight. If they are set straight, the first things that are going to be supposed to be done, they're going to be taken care of. And so women, she's going to be the last. If anything, she should not be on your list. But it's like, if this back work or all this stuff you do, it's going to already kind of show, it should already like be out there showing when you're around her. But it's like the back work is going to have to eventually like make up for anything. So I'm saying, obviously, with the riches and what women want in the modern day will work. And then once more, women really don't also get all the guys that they want, or they don't get a lot of guys that they're requesting for. And these unrealistic, you know, things that girls are saying in the modern day that they want, and how much men have to be making and how tall they are. Once more, they have probably, and this is a girl that you might really find attractive or whatever, they maybe have like 2-3, and some girls really have a lot of guys really there, really lined up, ready for her, but they have those 2-3 types of guys that they actually are like, oh, that's really my type, and that type is actually giving her what she wants. So in other words, right, she might not be as valuable as y'all have been making her seem. And that's the reason why, you know, she has these other guys that she wants, but she can't really get. So it's just like that with a lot of girls in the modern day. You just got to look at it as in like, what are you doing? What are you not doing? How are you lacking? A lot of times fellas just flat out aren't hustling, aren't grinding, doing that back work. A lot of fellas are not understanding what they love, what they like. A lot of fellas haven't taken the time to figure themselves out enough to be around a woman, be prepared around a woman. And also the confidence, a lot of y'all are still lacking because you don't want to put yourself out there to build it. So in other words, when you go talk to a woman, you get turned down, it doesn't mean you stop there. It also means when you're around her and you did kick her out or you dismiss her, don't be afraid or don't be worried that she didn't reach out. But when you guys do now talk again, you're not worried. Nothing has changed. Your confidence is there, and it doesn't change you deciding to now make the same decision if you have to. So back to your confidence always being in place, you're going to have things work in your favor, fellas. You're going to have a lot of females look at you differently, and also your decisions are going to be very much made clear. And you're going to be so certain of yourself that you won't need validation from women. You won't need that woman that rejected you to say yes, or I want to see you, or your ex needing you to come through. You won't need none of that no more, because it's like, well, I have that value. And also, all the other stuff that I just named said, these are things that you have to all consider, fellas. So, you know, if you do also want to watch more videos, remember there is Patreon. Check it out. We have videos once more when it gets like really, really wild. What she be doing, what she wants, what you guys could be doing, how to get certain things, all on Patreon, fellas. But the last simple things I'll say about what you need to be doing when you're around her is just being yourself, accepting how things can go, and understanding you need to go through it again and again and allowing that to happen. So definitely be consistent with seeing her. Make sure that you're not worried about the letdowns. And when you are getting turned down, or let's just say you're dealing with the same girl and it's the same situation again, get to that headspace of knowing that, okay, now I have to switch things. Now, okay, this idea of me being confident this way hasn't been showing that. Or it might mean back to your back work, which you didn't talk about so much in this video. It might mean back to your back work, you have to go put in more hours work, whether it's the gym, whether it's your money, all that stuff just means you have to still be putting in work. And this is like not in front of females. This is what's gonna actually get you the females later on. And obviously this is what's more beneficial for you once more when you have your priorities all set straight. All right, so fellas, I'm gonna wrap this video up with this. And it's just like having that confidence, having all these things in check, making sure you're good prior, and then knowing, accepting it, letting it go through again and again. You're gonna be prepped. You're going to be good, and you're definitely going to, as a man, add value to yourself. And that's the most important thing you're trying to do, because ultimately, if that girl doesn't see it, you know it. You're the only one that needs to see it, and she'll see it later on. All right. So once more, don't forget, we can talk about, yes, anything, drink consultations. Don't forget the Black Friday sale that is going on, and the Thanksgiving, fellas. And fellas, don't forget, we could talk for 15 minutes all the way to an hour. It's up to you guys. And I do have a bundle deal. And don't forget about Patreon. Check out those links down below. Y'all will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.